If you are half as weird as I am, you've probably asked yourself at least once, what on earth were the first people to kiss actually trying to do? Think about it. Was it a conscious decision? Were two cavemen just staring at each other one day across a fire and one thought, I really want to know what the inside of your mouth tastes like, or I want to know what you feel like when you eat? When you strip away the Hollywood romance, the poetry, and the Valentine's Day cards, the physical act of kissing is objectively absurd. You are taking the primary opening of your digestive tract, a dark, wet cavern filled with millions of bacteria, and aggressively mashing it against someone else's. If aliens came down to Earth to study human behavior, they would be absolutely baffled by this. They would write in their reports, the humans greet each other by locking their feeding holes together and swapping digestive fluids. We do not understand. So, how did this incredibly bizarre, unsanitary behavior become the universal symbol for love and affection? Well, anthropologists have a theory, and honestly, it is significantly less romantic than you might think. To understand the origin of the first kiss, we actually have to look at birds. When a mama bird needs to feed her babies, she doesn't use a tiny spoon. She chews up a worm, digests it a little bit, and then directly regurgitates it right into her baby's mouth. It's gross, but it's highly effective. Well, guess what? Before the invention of baby food blenders and mushy peas in jars, early human mothers did the exact same thing. It is a biological process called premastication. For hundreds of thousands of years, the primary way human babies transitioned from drinking milk to eating solid food was by their mothers chewing up tough meat and roots and then transferring that mashed up food directly mouth to mouth. It was a vital survival mechanism in a harsh world. If you didn't get baby birded by your mom, you choked and died. Because of this daily ritual, the early human brain began to wire itself in a very specific way. It began to associate mouth-to-mouth contact with the ultimate feelings of safety, comfort, and deep evolutionary trust. As an infant, having someone's lips against yours meant you were being cared for. It meant you were going to survive another day. That psychological association never went away. It got buried deep in our DNA. But that only explains why it feels safe. It doesn't explain how it became romantic. For that, we have to talk about smell. Fast forward a few thousand years, and our ancestors are trying to figure out how to choose a healthy mate to reproduce with. Before modern medicine, before blood tests or health clinics, the only way to tell if someone was healthy was to get really, really close to them and literally sniff their face. Our ancestors would rub noses and inhale deeply. They were checking for bad breath, which was a clear indicator of a rotting tooth or internal disease. But more importantly, they were subconsciously sniffing for pheromones. When you get that close to someone's face, your nose picks up on a specific set of proteins called MHC genes. Without getting too bogged down in the biology, your brain is essentially sniffing the other person's immune system. If their immune system is wildly different from yours, your brain says, hey, if we combine our DNA, our kids will be immune to almost everything. This sniff kissing was crucial for survival, and it's still practiced by many indigenous cultures around the world today, like the traditional Inuit greeting. So let's put the puzzle pieces together. You have the deeply ingrained psychological comfort of mouth-to-mouth food transfer from when you were a baby. You combine that with the biological urge to get extremely close to a mate's face to smell their immune system. Eventually, some incredibly bold hominid decided that just sniffing a face wasn't enough. They went in for the sniff, their faces brushed together, their brain remembered the ultimate comfort of the baby bird feeding technique, and the first romantic kiss was born. Once that seal was broken, human biology took over. Because nature wanted us to keep doing it to find good mates, it turned the human lips into the most sensitive erogenous zone on the entire body. Your lips are packed with millions of nerve endings. When you kiss someone, those nerves send a massive shockwave directly to your brain, triggering a chemical cocktail of dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin. It literally drugs you. It drops your cortisol levels, reduces your stress, and makes you feel bonded to that person so you stick around long enough to raise a family.
What started as a desperate, gross way to feed a toothless cave infant slowly evolved into the highest physical expression of romantic love. So, the next time you go in for a passionate kiss with your partner, just remember the weird anthropology behind it. You're not just being romantic, you are essentially mimicking a cave woman vomiting into a baby's mouth while simultaneously sniffing their immune system to make sure they aren't dying of a prehistoric disease. Isn't romance beautiful? If you want to ruin more completely normal things with bizarre historical facts, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.